Hollywood has always dazzled us with its glittering red carpets, larger-than-life stars, and picture-perfect romances. But behind the lights and glamour lies a different story, one filled with secrets, sacrifices, and forbidden love. For decades, some of Hollywood's most iconic leading men lived double lives, forced to hide who they truly were in order to protect their careers. These hidden love stories not only challenge the image of old Hollywood, but also reveal the struggles of actors who paid the price for fame. Today, we uncover the untold truths of 10 legendary stars whose personal lives were far more complicated than their on-screen roles. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss a story. Rock Hudson, Hollywood's dreamboat with a hidden heartbreak. Rock Hudson wasn't just a movie star. He was the romantic hero of Hollywood's golden age. With his tall frame, charming smile, and unforgettable performances in classics like Giant and Pillow Talk, he embodied everything the studios wanted in a leading man. On screen, he swept audiences off their feet. Off-screen, however, Hudson lived a life of painful secrecy. In an era when being openly gay meant career suicide, Rock was forced into so-called lavender marriages, carefully staged relationships designed by studio executives to protect his image. While fans adored his on-screen romances, his real love life had to remain locked away in the shadows. The pressure of hiding his true identity was overwhelming. In 1985, Rock Hudson became one of the first major stars to publicly acknowledge his battle with AIDS. His announcement shocked Hollywood, but it also brought global attention to the AIDS epidemic, a crisis long ignored and heavily stigmatized. Even in his final chapter, Hudson was breaking barriers, proving that behind Hollywood's glitter stood a man who sacrificed personal happiness for fame. James Dean, the rebel who hid more than a cause. Few stars have captured the spirit of rebellion like James Dean. With his smoldering looks, brooding intensity, and unforgettable performance in Rebel Without a Cause, Dean became a cultural icon almost overnight. He wasn't just acting the part of a rebel, he was living it. Behind the Hollywood spotlight, whispers spread of his romantic connections with both men and women, including rumored ties to fellow legend Marlon Brando. These stories only deepened his mystique, but they also reflected the limitations of an industry where living openly as bisexual was unthinkable. Despite adoration from millions, Dean often felt alone, burdened by Hollywood's expectations and society's restrictions. Freedom, the very thing he craved most, remained just out of reach. In 1955, a tragic car accident cut his life short at only 24, leaving behind unanswered questions about who he truly was. Today, James Dean remains immortalized as the face of youthful rebellion. Yet his hidden struggles remind us that even legends carry secrets the world may never fully know. Cary Grant, Hollywood's gentleman with a secret life. Cary Grant was the picture of sophistication. With his effortless charm, impeccable style, and unforgettable performances in films like North by Northwest, he became the standard of elegance in Hollywood's golden era. To the public, he seemed to have it all: fame, fortune, and the admiration of millions. But behind the polished exterior was a man guarding a very private truth. For over a decade, Grant shared a home with fellow actor Randolph Scott. The two were photographed together in candid, intimate moments that suggested more than simple friendship. Yet in a time when Hollywood demanded a flawless heteronormative image, both men repeatedly denied any romantic connection. The studio system, and the public's expectations, left no room for authenticity. Grant's career never faltered. His name remains synonymous with classic Hollywood glamour. Still, the personal cost was steep. To protect his success, he had to sacrifice openness, leaving fans forever wondering about the man behind the suave smile. Cary Grant's story is a reminder that even legends of perfection often lived in the shadows of secrecy. Montgomery Clift, the brilliant actor, haunted by secrets. Montgomery Clift wasn't just another Hollywood star, he was a revolutionary. His raw, emotional performances in films like A Place in the Sun changed the way audiences saw acting, making him one of the most acclaimed talents of his generation. But while the world admired his brilliance on screen, Clift carried a heavy secret off-screen. In the 1940s and 50s, Hollywood was not a place where an openly gay man could survive. Though he had relationships with men, Clift could never live openly without risking everything. The pressure of hiding his true self weighed on him deeply, leading to years of inner turmoil. Through it all, one constant source of strength was his lifelong friend Elizabeth Taylor. She shielded him from the spotlight, offering loyalty and compassion when few others would. Still, the burden was relentless. Clift battled addiction and depression, struggles that dimmed the light of a remarkable career. His story is both inspiring and heartbreaking, a reminder that even brilliance can be overshadowed by the price of secrecy. Anthony Perkins, the man behind Hollywood's most chilling role. Anthony Perkins will forever be remembered as Norman Bates, the unsettling motel owner in Alfred Hitchcock's classic Psycho. His haunting performance made him a household name and cemented his place in cinematic history. But off-screen, Perkins lived with a struggle far more personal than any role he played. Throughout his career, he had romantic relationships with men, most notably fellow actor Tab Hunter. Yet in the rigid, unforgiving world of mid-century Hollywood, being openly gay was not an option. The studios carefully shaped Perkins's public image, keeping his private life hidden. For Perkins, honesty came at the impossible price of losing everything he had worked for. Instead, he lived quietly in suppression, carrying the weight of a secret that defined much of his life. Only after his passing was his sexuality fully acknowledged, offering the world a clearer glimpse into the man behind the roles. Perkins's story is more than Hollywood tragedy. It's a testament to the silent sacrifices countless LGBTQ+ actors endured to survive in an industry that refused to let them live authentically. Tyrone Power, Hollywood's heartthrob with a hidden truth. Tyrone Power was the very definition of a Hollywood leading man. With his striking good looks, magnetic charm, and unforgettable performances in romantic dramas and swashbuckling adventures, he was adored by audiences around the world. To fans, Power seemed to have everything: fame, success, and the perfect image of masculinity. But behind the glamorous facade, there was another story. Within Hollywood circles, Power's bisexuality was something of an open secret. Quiet whispers of his relationships with men circulated among insiders, though such truths could never be spoken publicly. His career depended on preserving the illusion, and so he leaned heavily into high-profile romances with women, carefully curated to match the industry's rigid expectations. The cost of this double life was steep. Beneath the spotlight, Power carried a loneliness that fame could never cure. Hollywood demanded perfection, and he gave it at the expense of his own identity. Today, Tyrone Power is remembered as one of the greats, but his story also reflects the sacrifices demanded by an unforgiving system. Errol Flynn, the swashbuckler, caught in his own legend. Few actors embodied adventure like Errol Flynn. With his daring sword fights, roguish charm, and unforgettable role in The Adventures of Robin Hood, he became the ultimate symbol of Hollywood's golden age. To the public, Flynn was larger than life, a fearless hero on screen and, off-screen, a notorious womanizer whose escapades filled tabloids. But the truth was more complicated. Behind the headlines, whispers of bisexual relationships added a layer of complexity to his already chaotic personal life. In an industry that demanded its male stars uphold a hyper-masculine image, Flynn's rumored affairs with men were a dangerous contradiction. To preserve his stardom, he had no choice but to bury those aspects of himself, living under the weight of a persona that wasn't fully his own. The world remembers Flynn for his swashbuckling adventures and undeniable charisma, but his personal struggles reveal a sobering reality. The same Hollywood machine that made him a legend also kept him trapped, forcing him to play a role even when the cameras weren't rolling. Tab Hunter, the golden boy who lived a double life. In the 1950s, Tab Hunter was Hollywood's golden boy. With his handsome looks, wholesome charm, and talent as both an actor and a singer, he quickly rose to stardom. Audiences adored him, and studios promoted him as the perfect all-American heartthrob. But behind the carefully crafted image, Hunter was living a very different reality. Secretly, he was in a romantic relationship with fellow actor Anthony Perkins, star of Psycho. The two shared a deep bond, but in a world where being openly gay meant career destruction, their love had to remain hidden. To protect his marketable image, studios staged fake romances with actresses, feeding the tabloid stories of Hunter's dates that never truly happened. The pressure to keep his true self locked away was immense, yet Hunter endured. Later in life, he chose honesty, opening up about his sexuality and his struggles. That decision transformed him into more than just a movie star. It made him a symbol of resilience, representing the courage it takes to live authentically in a world that once demanded silence. Raymond Burr, the courtroom star with a hidden love. Raymond Burr became a household name through his iconic role as the sharp-witted lawyer in Perry Mason and as a ruthless villain in countless thrillers. His commanding presence and undeniable talent made him one of Hollywood's most respected actors, admired by millions who tuned in to see justice served on screen. But while his professional life was lived in the spotlight, his personal life remained carefully guarded. For decades, Burr shared a quiet, loving relationship with his partner, Robert Benavides. Together, they built a life away from the public eye, managing vineyards and supporting each other in ways Hollywood would never allow them to openly acknowledge. At the time, coming out meant risking not only one's career, but also reputation and livelihood. Burr's ability to balance fame with privacy was remarkable, but the emotional toll of living in silence was heavy. His story is a poignant reminder of the sacrifices LGBTQ+ actors were forced to make in an era of strict conformity. Today, his legacy is twofold: the celebrated star of Perry Mason and the man whose hidden love endured despite society's judgment. Sal Mineo, the rebel who dared to be himself. Sal Mineo first rose to fame in Rebel Without a Cause, where his sensitive, unforgettable performance made him one of Hollywood's brightest young stars. Unlike many of his peers, Mineo chose to live with a rare honesty for his time. He was among the first actors of his era to openly embrace his sexuality, a decision that set him apart in an industry built on secrecy. But that bravery came at a cost. Hollywood was not ready to accept a star who lived outside its rigid mold. Mineo faced prejudice, typecasting, and a steady decline in opportunities. His willingness to stand in his truth made him a trailblazer, yet it also left him isolated from the system he helped challenge. Tragically, his life ended far too soon when he was murdered at just 37. Despite the heartbreak, Mineo's courage paved the way for future generations. He is remembered not only as a talented actor, but also as a symbol of resilience, a man who refused to hide even when the world demanded silence. Hollywood's golden age may shine in our memories as an era of elegance, romance, and legendary stars, but beneath the glitter lay stories of sacrifice and silence. For many of these men, fame came at the cost of living authentically. Their hidden struggles remind us that success, no matter how dazzling, often carries a price unseen by the public eye. These untold stories aren't just about Hollywood. They're about resilience, courage, and the universal desire to live one's truth. By reflecting on their journeys, we gain a deeper appreciation for the freedoms we have today and the importance of creating a world where authenticity is celebrated, not silenced. If these stories moved you, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss what's next. Don't miss it.